Oke, kita mulai pelatihan pada siang hari ini. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. Salam, Om Swastiastu, Nama Budaya, salam kebajikan buat teman-teman semua, Bapak Ibu mahasiswa, dosen, dan karyawan. Yang terhormat Ibu Tari selaku Kepala PSB FEB UI, kemudian teman-teman dari SNP eh, yang mengisi pelatihan pada siang hari ini. Eh, dan teman-teman semua semua yang hadir di sini juga. Perkenalkan, nama saya Raffi. Saya akan memandu acara ini selama nanti sampai jam 3.30 sekitar segitu. Oke, sebelum saya mulai, eh, saya mau introduce, eh, sorry, sebelumnya bisa, oke, sebentar. Oke, jadi pelatihan pada siang hari ini itu adalah eh, pelatihan mengenai Kompustat, finansial via Capital IQ. Untuk sebelum kita buka, mungkin ada dari Bu Tari mau eh, mem- membuka acara sekaligus memberikan sepatah dua patah kata untuk teman-teman mahasiswa, dosen, dan karyawan.
Oke, terima kasih Raffi. Uh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, Thank you for SNP Global, there Patricia. Good afternoon. Ting, good afternoon. Pak Leo Kurniawan, Pak Kurniawan is Indonesian ya. Akan membantu nih, saya pakai bahasa ya, in bahasa dulu ya.
Silakan.
Ya, jadi terima kasih untuk Ibu Patricia, Ibu Ting, Bapak Leo yang sudah hadir untuk memberikan eh, kontribusi pelatihan di hari ini, di mana kita belajar database yang kita baru langgan, belum setahun ya, hampir setahun ya, yaitu database COMPUSTAT atau nama detailnya adalah Capital IQ Pro Platform dan COMPUSTAT Financial via Capital IQ Pro ya. Jadi ini adalah database yang FEBUI langgan, di mana database ini bisa diakses oleh everybody, sivitas akademik aktif, baik itu peneliti, dosen, maupun mahasiswa. Ya, jadi semua mereka ini adalah user untuk Capital IQ ini atau Kompustat. Kemudian untuk diketahui semua email institusional yaitu email @ui.ac.id itu sudah kita masukkan ke platform tersebut untuk kemudian harusnya teman-teman yang mungkin yang baru mau mulai menggunakan atau sudah pernah mengetahui ini dan belum mengakses harusnya sudah menerima email welcoming email dari SNP Global gitu ya ke email @ui.ac.id-nya. Bila belum ada email masuk, jangan ragu untuk bertanya ke Mas Raffi atau datang ke ruang Pusat Data Ekonomi Bisnis di Depok ya, untuk kemudian nanti dibantu untuk mengaktifasi login tersebut gitu ya. Kemudian hal yang lain adalah ini adalah untuk dedicated hanya untuk Sivitas FEB UI, mohon dijaga compliance-nya supaya nanti bisa long term melanggannya. Kemudian terkait juga dengan layanan ini eh, kita juga selalu melakukan pelatihan ya. Nah, untuk teman-teman mahasiswa atau dosen atau peneliti yang mungkin mau menonton ulang pelatihan, kami merecording dan ini bisa diakses melalui YouTube-nya PSB ya. Nah, selebihnya saya ingin infokan bahwa kami juga memiliki apa ya informasi terkait database-database yang dilanggan oleh FEB UI ada di websitenya PSB yaitu psb.feb.ui.ac.id gitu ya. Jadi itu aja mungkin Mas Raffi yang ingin saya sampaikan. Intinya adalah tolong dimaksimalkan, dimanfaatkan sebaik mungkin untuk proses pendidikan penelitian yang ada di FEB UI. Kayaknya seperti itu aja. Terima kasih untuk Pak Leo, Patricia dan Ibu Ting. Oke, thank you.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Tari eh, untuk pembukaannya juga. Dan untuk teman-teman mahasiswa, dosen, dan karyawan, bisa untuk aksesnya bisa coba masuk ke portal loginnya aja. Nanti kalau misalnya em, silahkan masukkan menggunakan email UI yang tadi seperti disampaikan oleh Bu Tari. Nanti kalau misalnya memang gagal, bisa di forget password. Kalau misalnya memang sudah terdaftar, eh, teman-teman semua bisa mendapatkan email reset password ke email UI-nya gitu. Nanti setelah kalau misalnya memang tidak masuk, itu baru bisa datang ke PSB untuk dibantu eh, memperbaiki akunnya seperti itu. Oke, baik kita mulai saja. Jadi nanti di sini ada Patricia yang akan memberikan pelatihan dan kemudian dibantu oleh Pak Leo Kurniawan. Jadi nanti kalau misalnya teman-teman ada pertanyaan di akhir, mungkin bisa atau tiba-tiba kepikiran bisa di chat aja nggak apa-apa lewat chat nanti akan kita bahas di akhir dari sesi pelatihannya itu. Oke, waktu dan tempat saya persilahkan eh, pada Pak Leo dan Miss Patricia.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Pak Raffi. Mungkin sebelum saya persilakan Patricia ya untuk sesi training hari ini sedikit dari SNP kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua partisipan dari FEB UI yang telah meluangkan waktunya untuk join ke sesi hari ini. Jadi seperti yang Pak Raffi katakan, untuk sesi hari ini kami akan fokus ke pemberian training cara penggunaan data Compustat melalui Capital IQ dan juga bagaimana cara navigasi platform, download data dan sebagainya ya di platform Capital IQ Pro. Kalau misalkan ada pertanyaan, baik itu dalam format Inggris ataupun dalam format bahasa Indonesia, silakan langsung diajukan ya. Nanti kami akan bisa bantu jawab. Em, Baik, kalau begitu mungkin saya langsung persilakan ya tempat dan waktunya ke Bu Patricia. Feel free to start today's training for the team. Hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Leo. Let me just start sharing my screen now. Okay. Just let me know if my screen is visible on your end.
All good? Thanks,
Oh, good.
Patricia.
Perfect. So yes, this is what Capital IQ looks like. And before we jump in, I just wanted to introduce myself as well. My name is Patricia. I am a customer success manager from S&P Global. And a lot of topics, of course, will be discussed today. So if you have any questions, feel free to chat in. We do have a chat box available here, or you can also like speak up. We have here Leo that's going to be helping me with the questions as well. Okay, so to start, we have here the classic Capital IQ open, wherein you can access like basically data ranging from financials, research, market data, and the like. But for today, we will be looking at the CompuStat data that is available within Capital IQ. Okay, so once you log in, you will be lead to the dashboard page. Basically, this is the landing page for whenever you log into Capital IQ. Okay, and then as mentioned, we will be looking at the CompuStats financials. So to access that, you have to go first to a company profile. So for example, let's look at the LKM. So once you like typed in either a company name or a company ticker, which I did just right now, you'll be suggested like relevant searches. And the one at the top would be the most relevant one. So let's click on this one. Okay, so once you've like searched and selected the company, you'll be led to their tear sheet page, wherein as you can see, like this is already a good starting page for your research, wherein you can easily get their business description, their primary industry classification, stock quote and chart, which has their market data available, such as market cap, their last sale price, and the like. But since we are focusing solely on CompuStat for this section, you can directly go to the CompuStat financials here on the left links, and then just click on income statement, for example. Okay, and then this is what it looks like. Here at the top, you can quickly download this page by clicking on the download this page icon here. Or if you want to download everything along with the entirety of the period available here, like for example, like it goes up to 1993. You can also just click on download financials here, which will download everything, including the balance sheet, cash flow, etc. You also have here the options section. And then if you click on more options here, you have the period type drop down, wherein you can select whichever periods you would like to access. So for example, we have the annual. Then you also can change the currency. So right here, maybe you are interested in just seeing for the Indonesian currency. You can do that here. And then once you're done, just click on go. Okay, and then as you can see, like based on the options that you've selected, the data is now showing differently, wherein you can see here the currency that it is pulling for, as well as the date range that you selected based on the timeline here or the time frame. We also have a click-through functionality. So if you're interested in how this particular data was pulled or derived, just click on it, and it will show you the total revenue. So it might be showing like if it's in USD, it will also be showing you the financials or the exchange rate that was used in order to convert that particular data. Okay, and you might be wondering like what's the difference between CompuStats and the CIQ standard financials that we have here under financials and valuation. So maybe we can also take a quick look at that as well. So if you look at it like at first glance, there might not be like that much difference, but basically the difference is that it all boils down in the methodologies used in order to pull that data or pull the CompuStat and the CAQ standard financials data. So CompuStat, it is more primarily focused on the detailed financial statements and metrics for publicly traded companies. It has a strong emphasis on historical data. So it aggregates data from various filings and sources, which allows our users or those that are using CompuStat data a more comprehensive historical overview or analysis. Um, on the other hand, like the Capital IQ standard financials that I have here open, it is designed to present the financials on a uniform format across different industries or different companies. So this standardization that we follow for the Capital AQ financials, this allows our users to compare financials across different industries and geographies. So it adjusts it. Of course, like for example, maybe in the United States, as compared to Indonesia, they might follow a different accounting standards. So through CIQ, this is adjusted so that our users will have the ability to compare companies on an apples to apples basis. But yes, basically for CompuStat, this data. So the CompuStat financials, it is most used by researchers or analysts who, as mentioned, like require a more detailed historical financial data, especially those in the academic or the quantitative research space. Okay, but yes, basically that's it for the CompuStat financials portion for the today's training. But maybe we can also like take a quick look at how you can use the CompuStat financials using the screening tool here in Capital IQ. Maybe you can do a quick screening search. But basically the screening search here, it allows you to use filters and such in order to pull a list of companies. So let's say maybe you'd want to pull a list of those that have CompuStat financials in a certain industry. Maybe you can do that quickly. Just to show you how to do it, I just went to screening here and then clicked on companies. And then let's take a quick look at the financial statements here under financial information. Once you click on financial statements, it might load like a couple of seconds just because this is basically loading like a big chunk, a big load of a big chunk of data for us. Okay. It's just taking a little longer to load here. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so to get the CompuStat financials, it is available on this section. Where is it? Okay, there it is, CompuStat financials right here. So you can expand that, and then let's click on income statement, for example, and then revenue data. So maybe, for example, you'd like to pull companies wherein they have reported greater than 10 million in revenues. And then you can also change the time frame here for that particular data metric that you're looking at. So let's say you want to pull for companies that have total revenue of greater than 10 million USD. You can see the currency options here as well for fiscal year 2024. Once you're done, just click on Add Criteria. And as you can see, like just from that metric alone, we are pulling 5,176 companies. And then you can also use the other filters here, such as the industry classification. Like let's say maybe let's only pull for those in part of the information technology sector. Then click on Add Criteria again. And then just from that alone, we have around 600 companies now. Then let's click on View Results. Okay, so now as you can see, we are seeing the list of companies along with their revenue data pulled from the CompuStat financials. Again, you can also like quickly export this to Excel or Word by clicking on the buttons right here at the top. You also have the options right here on this section. Okay, so that's it for Capital IQ. We will be jumping directly now to Capital IQ Pro. You can quickly access it by clicking on Capital IQ Pro here at the top right. So just click on that. And once that is loaded, you'll be led to the Capital IQ Pro platform. Okay, so yes, so basically this is what Capital IQ Pro looks like. Similarly to Capital IQ, your landing page is the dashboard. Just to introduce what Capital IQ is, it is basically an enhanced version of Capital IQ, wherein it includes the features of the classic or the standard Capital IQ, which I just showed, along with in-depth industry-specific data. We also have extended private company data here as well, along with private equity and advanced tools and functionalities, which I'll be showing later on as well, which is the generative AI that we've included within the platform. Okay, so to kick things off, maybe like one thing that you want to change or customize before you fully jump into Capital IQ Pro would be your settings. So to access that, just click on the top right here on the profile icon, and then go to User Profile and Display Information. Okay, so one thing to definitely change here would be the profile specialization section. So if you just want a general view of the platform, I'd suggest for it to be left at generalist. But if, for example, your research would be more energy focused or you're more interested in learning more about the financials or healthcare, you can also do that. So basically what you choose here will change the navigation tabs that you have at the top. But if you don't really have anything particular in mind, you can just leave it as generalist. You also have here the options to change your currency, your time zone, terminology, date format, and etc. We also have here the light or the dark mode, which is something that is only available here in Capital AQ Pro. So feel free to definitely customize that depending on your preference. And then once you're done with your changes, just click on Save here at the top right. Okay, so maybe we can jump directly to the search bar here in Capital AQ Pro. So this is definitely like a big enhancement as compared to the search bar in Capital AQ, which we briefly showed earlier. So as you can see, like from the search bar alone here in Capital AQ Pro, you can quickly access like the companies or quickly search for companies, assets, funds, fixed income, etc. And for example, if you are just going to search for a sample company, like maybe we can use the LKM again. Once you have that search, again, like you'll be um, having the most relevant one here at the top. You can also like directly see some quick data here as well, such as their primary geography. So you can see here where they are located, their industry, their latest share price as well is also available here. And then on the right side, we have some quick links wherein you can quickly jump through their corporate structure if you're interested in learning more about that. Their people summary page is also available here, so, and some transaction summary as well. So definitely like feel free to use the links here to directly go to those pages that you need. But if you don't really have like a particular page in mind, you can just click on the suggested results here at the top, which will directly lead you to their corporate profile page. Okay, so this is the corporate profile page for the company. So similar to Capital IQ, it's like already showing you some very relevant data such as their market data. We also have here their stock price and volume chart, which you can easily download by clicking on this button right here. A bunch of other data such as their financials as well, multiples, and a whole lot more. Okay. And here at the top, we also have some quick links as well for the transcripts and earnings releases, which I'll be showing later on what that looks like. Okay, so maybe we can like jump through what is available here from the left links. So a lot of very interesting data that we can take a look at. So maybe we can start off with their people summary. So if you are interested in learning more about the um the structure or the organization for the company, as well as like specifically their top executives and their board of directors. This would be the page you are going to visit. So here's the people summary page, wherein we can see here like a gender representation chart showing the female and the male executives. Then we can see here the top executives as well as the board directors and other board members as well. Okay. And then maybe we can also take a look at their, let's say, the corporate structure. So this would be particularly helpful if you're looking at like a big company such as this one. Um, let's see. So so by default, it's not showing like the entire list. So you do have to expand it just so that you can see the rest of the subsidiaries that are under TLKM here. So as you can see, like a lot of companies are under them. And then you can also see like the details such as their percentage owned, if they are a major or a minorities holder, and as well as the industry of that particular subsidiary. Okay. And then maybe one more thing that we can check on this section is peer comps. Maybe you're interested in learning more about the comparable companies for the company that you're looking at. So this peer comp page, it will show companies that are similar to the one that you have open right now. So as you can see here at the top, we have the criteria that is used in order to pull those similar companies. Let me just click that again. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the filters that are used in order to pull those similar companies that we have here at the bottom part. This is actually using the company screener tool, company screener tool, which is what we did earlier in Capital IQ. But I'll also be showing that later on using Capital IQ Pro. But yes, as you can see, like already, this is a great way of pulling data automatically for a list of companies that are comparable to the one that you're looking at. Okay. And then, of course, we also have the financials available here on the left side. I won't be showing this anymore since we did briefly check the financials from in Capital IQ. So some other data that you might be interested in as well is the estimates. So basically what estimates is that it's the projected or the expected financials for the company in the future. So that's how you can easily understand what an estimates or what the estimates data set is. So as you can see here, based on the filters that you've selected, you can see more data. Like for example, let's say fiscal years, maybe. You just want to see the fiscal year data. And then let's say you want to see it from 2024 up to, let's see if we have data up to 2028. Then you can just leave the rest of the filters as default. As you can see here at the top, we have per share level estimates available. And then here at the bottom are the company level estimates, such as the revenue, the EBITDA. So as you can see, we have the revenue data or the projected revenue data for 2025, 2026, and 2027. So 2028 is still not available, but that's expected since yeah, but basically like as we go near to 2028, the data will definitely be available for that one. But yes, if you are interested in getting the projected data, this is the page wherein you can get it. Okay. And maybe we can take a look now at the ownership data. So the ownership data here, which I'm just going to go to the ownership summary page right now. This will basically like summarize those that have ownership over the company. So if you're interested to learn the top shareholders or the list of the shareholders for the company, this is the page that you can check out. So this is just the ownership summary page wherein you can see here like for institutions, it is 18.65, corporations hold 52.09. And to learn more about like the specific holders, just go to top holders here. So this will just show like the top 5 holders, but to see the rest of the ownerships or the ownership data, just click on view more holders here. And it will show you the rest of the data here. So as you can see, like a big chunk, so 52.09 is owned by this company. Then we also have some investment company here, such as Lazard, Vanguard, etc., holding 1.72%, 1.59. If you're interested as well on how these companies' ownership has changed throughout the years, you can quickly check on history here as well, which will show you how the companies or how that particular holder, so for this one, for Lazard, how they have changed in terms of ownership throughout the years. As you can see here, in 2018, they held this much, and then they might have sold like their holdings. As you can see, it did went down. We also have here a more detailed table of the data as well.
Hi,
Okay.
Patricia. Sorry to
Yep.
jump in here. Just one question from the audience. This is from Faki. How
Yes,
can
I
I
see it.
view the average buying price or cost basis?
Average buying price or cost basis of equity purchases. Actually, not quite sure on how to do that on top of my head, but definitely like something I can take note of. And then maybe I'll reach out to you via email. Faki, would that work? Yep. Yeah, I just reach out to you via email as well. Okay. And yeah, let's jump through maybe their investments now. So if you're interested in the public holdings or the investments of a particular company, this would be the page to look at. So it's under investments, public holdings, and then public holdings detailed. Then you can see here like the companies wherein they have invested in. And then we also have here the transactions page. So let's take a look at transaction summary here. Okay, so all of this data, like you might have noticed that most of the pages here in Capital IQ Pro has filters available. So this will allow you, of course, to customize the view. But currently, like based on the filters that you've selected, it will show the transactions that are captured by that filters. So we have here an aggregated view. We have charts available on this page. But if you would like to see a more detailed view, you can just click on details here. And it will list down like the rest of the transactions for you. So from this page alone, we can quickly check or we can quickly see the chart, the target, the buyer, and the seller. But if you'd like to learn more, just click on any of the transaction IDs here. So let's click on this one from 2019. And as you can see, like we're seeing a lot more data for that particular transaction. So you can see here like the buyer name, the deal summary, the terms. So for example, how was the deal attitude? Was it friendly? Was it hostile? We can see that here. So for this one, it is friendly. Then we also have some deal valuation data as well. Okay. And then one more thing before we jump through the available tools within Capital IQ Pro. I'm just going to click on back here. Maybe you're interested in seeing the fixed income data of the company. We can quickly check that as well under the corporate issuance page. Just click on security summary here. Okay, so here's the page for the securities. Again, based on the filters that you selected, you can also like see here's a bunch of the data. And then similarly to transactions, you can just click on any of the fixed income data here, and then you'll be able to lead to their fixed income data page. Okay, and then one more thing to show would be the equity listings. Like you might be wondering where else in the world or where else, which exchanges is a company listed in. So as you can see, like for TLKM, the one in bold right now, it is their primary ticker or where they are primarily trading in. But as you can see, they also have um, security types. You can see here, they are also listed in this exchange as well. And again, if you would like to learn more about that security or that listing, you can just click on any of the links here. Like for example, let's just click on this one. And then again, it will lead you to that specific page for the listing right here. As you can see, like we have like some security details, pricing data, and the likes. Okay, so I do see like we do have like a couple of questions. Maybe I can take a look at one right now. So yes, for the one that asked regarding the private companies, as mentioned, we do have a more expanded private company coverage here in Capital IQ Pro. So if you do have a company in mind, feel free to let us know. Then we can also quickly check here. But yes, as long as it's part of our coverage, private company financials are also available here in Capital IQ Pro. How to obtain the time series data of financial information. Yeah, we can also quickly check that. So if you're interested in like the financials of a company, just go to the company profile you're interested in. And then from the left links, just go to financials and income statement. And then from there, you can customize like the period you need if you're interested in getting fiscal year, fiscal quarters. You can do that on this drop down here. So let's say fiscal years. And then feel free to adjust the timeline bar here. So let's say you want it from say 2010 up to today, up to the latest fiscal year. We can do that quickly. You can see this is the financials. And then here at the top, you have the export option available where you can quickly export it to as a data to Excel. You can also export it as Excel formulas, which I'll be showing later on as well, PDF, Word. And then here at the top, we also have the definition. So you'll notice that most of the pages here in Capital IQ Pro has this available. So definitely something quite useful if you're not familiar with a particular data metric. So for example, I'm not familiar with the current domestic taxes. What does that mean? So you can quickly check that here by seeing the definition. Okay, and then what does LTM mean? So LTM means last 12 months. So it will capture the financials for the last 12 months. So for example, for this date, what is the total revenue from the last 12 months? Okay, so that would be like basically like the highlights that is available from a company profile page. Let's jump through now like the available functionalities and tools within Capital IQ Pro. So maybe we can start with looking at the screener tool. So similar to the company screening tool that we did in the classic Capital IQ, this will allow you again to pull a list of companies based on the criterion that you'll be selecting. So let's say maybe you'd like to pull a list of IT companies within the APAC region that are publicly listed. So to quickly do that, um, as you can see, like we do have a lot of criteria available, but really all that you basically need or the basics that you'll need are available here in the recommended criteria section. Okay, so here right now, let's start pulling for those public IT companies in the APAC region. First, let's click on industry classification. So from here, you can select information technology. Then once you have that selected, just click on add. Okay, so as you can see, like quite a large number of companies. So let's narrow that down by clicking on or selecting a geography for it. So let's click on geography and then let's select Asia Pacific and let's click on add. So still quite a large number of companies. So maybe we can just narrow it down by company type. So just click on company type and then tick the box for public company and then click on add. Okay, so as you can see, it is now down to 4,634 companies. Maybe like let's narrow it down to those that have a market capitalization of a certain number. So I'm just going to use the search bar here to type in the market capitalization. So let's click on this one. So I'm just clicking on edit criteria just so that you can see the field selector. So once you click on edit criteria, it will open the field selector wherein you can use this section here to type in the market cap or the particular metric that you're looking for. So for example, you want to pull for those that have greater than, you don't want to put up too much large of a number just so that it's sure, maybe like 50 million USD. Let's see if it will pull a good number of companies. Okay, so as you can see, like just from that, we have narrowed it down to 10 companies only. So maybe let's run screen now. Okay, so as you can see, here are the 10 companies that we've captured using that list of criteria that we've selected. Okay, so you might be wondering, like, is there a way for me to view more data? Currently, like, we're only seeing the geography, the company type, the market capitalization. But in order to view in more data, just click on display columns here, or you can also select a template. So I advise you to use like select a template if you just want to see or quickly check, like for example, the basic financials of the list of companies that you've pulled. So let's click on that. Okay, so as you can see, like once that is loaded, it automatically applied like the total enterprise value, the market capitalization, and a whole lot more. But maybe like you're interested in adding more data here. So I'm just going to click on display columns right here. And then from the left side, which we have the selected fields, you are able to customize this by either dragging the data. So for example, you would like this data to be in this section. If you would like it to be at the bottom part, feel free to do that as well. You can also like remove any of the data that you won't need, such as this one, let's say. Or maybe like you don't really need to see the exchange ticker, you can remove that as well. And then from the left side here, you are, oops, sorry. Uh, Let me just go back. You can see that we have the available categories that you can select from. So maybe something as simple as, let's say, since we didn't specify a country, we just specified the APAC region. Maybe you would want to see the country that they are located in directly. So you can do that by going to geography and address and then select country and region name. And then maybe we can also add the name of the CEO if you're interested in that. We have that here under people and compensation. And then go to top executives, expand person details, and then person's full name. And then from here, it will automatically be the chief executive officer. Just click on the right arrow to select it. And then again, you can feel free to customize it. So for example, I'm just going to drag the country name and region next to geography. Then let's put the CEO name right here at the top. Then you can also use this, of course, to add in more financials data that you're interested in. So let's say maybe we can add in like the EBITDA margin. What's good about this is that you don't have to add it one by one. So as you can see, like you can quickly check the boxes for the years that you need. Like for example, if you would like to compare the EBITDA margin from 2024 up to 2021 to 2024, for example, you can do that as well by just clicking on the boxes here and then using the right arrow again to have them selected here, as you can see. Then once you're done with your selection, just click on apply. Okay, and as you can see, now that we've applied it, we can quickly see that we are now able to view the country name. As you can see here, the CEO is also available on this column. We also have the other data metrics that we've added, which is the EBITDA margin right here. Okay, and then aside from that, a couple of things to highlight here as well. You have the options wherein you have the ability to group them. So for example, you'd like to see the grouping for the country or region. Just click on that. And as you can see, like we can have 3 companies from Australia, 3 companies from China, etc. And then to expand or see more details for those companies that fall under that specific grouping, just expand the data here or click the arrow to expand it. And then you could see the rest of the data as well. And as you can see, we also have the aggregates available for that group, wherein you can quickly like view the minimum, the mean, the median, the max, etc. Okay, and two more things to show here. Here at the top, you're able to save this. So for example, if you would like to revisit this particular screener that you're pulling, just make sure to click on the save button right here. And then make sure to select this one that is denoted with project, just because this will capture all of the selections that you've added to your screener. And then again, all of your save items here in Capital IQ Pro will be available on the save items folder right here at the top. For screeners, it is under list and screens, and then go to manage screens right here. Okay, and then you're also able to export it. Just click on the export button right here. Okay, so yes, basically that's it for the company screener tool. As you can see, like just by clicking on the screener tab here, we also have like a lot other data that other types of screeners that you can also play around with. But one thing that I'd also want to show in terms of the tools is that we also have a charting tool available, so that
Hi,
can be
Patricia.
accessed.
Sorry,
Yes.
before you move on to the next topics, there's a couple of
Mm-hmm.
questions from the audience.
Yes.
So
Let
there's
me.
one from Ratna. Does CIQ provide data related to P2P lending?
P2P lending. Good question. I'm actually not sure. It might fall under the what do you call it? The fig industry, if I'm not mistaken. But something I can definitely like check out quickly after this training, and then I'll take note of that as well and then get back to Ratna via email.
Sounds good. There's another one from MakerWiz. Any recommendation index provided by CIQ that calculated base its criteria and sector? I believe there is there's some index based on
Mm-hmm.
region and industry, right? That we can search for.
Yes, that's correct. So we do have like a lot of indices that is available here. Um, I don't have one that is, I can't think of one that is specific to Indonesia. But for example, if you have like an index already in mind, you can quickly just search for them here. Like let's say something that is quite big, the S&P 500. You can just type that down here and then click on the index page, wherein you can see here like a way or more details on the index profile. And you can also like maybe it's this is best shown using the chart builder. You can also like plot it, like the index. You can compare how the index is performing in comparison to a company. We can also do that. Let's do that now by clicking on the apps tab here and then going to chart builder. But maybe later on I can share as well like a list or the help article wherein the team can access the complete list of indices that we have here in CAQ. Okay, I'll just note that down as well. Okay, so I just went to the chart
All
builder. So we
right.
have that.
Sorry, got
Uh-huh.
another one
Okay,
from
yeah.
Metia. This is about how to obtain data such as assets for the last 5 years.
What asset are you looking for? That
I
would
guess,
be.
Metia, are you referring to total assets
Yes.
of a
Okay.
company? Okay.
Hello,
Patricia, go ahead.
Patricia.
Total
Hello,
assets.
Yep.
Will. Yeah. If I want to look at an IT companies in Indonesia, listed IT
Mm-hmm.
companies in Indonesia for the total asset of their of the companies, how can
Mm-hmm.
I get it in the screener tab?
Okay, yeah, we can
Yeah.
quickly do that as well.
Yes.
So
Sorry.
you're looking at the total assets
Mm-hmm.
for companies, IT companies listed in Indonesia, right?
Yes.
Okay. So just go to the screen or the company screener tab or the screener tab and then go to companies. So I'm just waiting for it to load here. Okay, so let's say first let's narrow it down by geography first. So if you have like a specific country in mind, you can just type it down here. So I'm
So this
just
is by geography, not by the listed like in the
Mhm.
not the listed, the listed what do you call it, a stock exchange.
Yes. So
Uh,
we can there's two ways. So
mm,
the quicker one would be this one since it's already under the recommended criteria
mm,
section. So let's
mm-hmm,
first add Indonesia. And then
mm-hmm,
to quickly capture those that are publicly listed, just click on company type
mm-hmm.
and then click on public company.
Okay.
So now this will be pulling all of the publicly listed companies that are in Indonesia. And then if you click on run screen, that will pull the rest of the data for you. And then to get their total assets, just go to display columns right here. And then maybe you're not quite familiar as to where it's located. You can just type total assets. And let's click on this one. And then, as mentioned, like you can quickly, I'm just going to uncheck the latest fiscal year here, because you can quickly like just tick the box for 2020, 2021,
Mm,
2020, 2022, 2023, and 2024.
mm-hmm.
And then just click on the right arrow here. And once you click on apply, you'll be able to get that list of total assets for
Mm.
that list of companies that you have. And then again, feel free to export the data to Excel by clicking on the export button here.
Okay. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you,
You're
Leo.
welcome. Okay, so let me just go back to the chart builder right here. So once you've accessed the chart builder, so I'm just going to show it again. It's under the apps tab right here, and then click on chart builder, and then it will open up. Once you are in the chart builder page, this will be the first company or the first pop-up box that will show, wherein you are able to search and select for company. So maybe I'm just going to click on this one that I have right here open. So NYSE IBM. And then maybe you would want to see their price and volume. Or actually, since I did mention the price versus index, we actually have that template available right here. So let's click on price versus index instead. So as you can see, once you've selected the price versus index, it will automatically pull in um, an index that is most relevant for that company that you have. So as you can see for IBM, it is pulling the information technology sector index since that is where the country or the company that you're looking or the company that you selected is most relevant to. As you can see, this is just a quick and easy way to compare how the company is performing in comparison to the index that you have here. And then, of course, you can also like feel free to add in more metrics by clicking on the plus metrics button here, wherein you can select any of the available metrics, such as, let's say, um, market capitalization, trading multiples, such as trailing multiple, right? Okay, just trailing multiples such as TEV over EBIT maybe, and then just click on done. And as you can see, it did get a bit more complicated based on the metrics that we've selected. But yeah, basically that's it for the charting tool. Again, you can save it by clicking on the save button right here, and then you can also export it to Excel or PDF by clicking on the export button. Okay, so one more thing before we move on to the generative AI functionalities, I wanted to show as well that we do have macroeconomic data as well or country level data available here in Capital IQ Pro. So that can be accessed by clicking on the Markets tab right here and then going through maybe let's say Asia Pacific. So just under geographies here, just click on Asia Pacific. And then let's take a look at Indonesia. It's under here, under emerging Asia Pacific. So once you have that clicked, it will load the country profile for Indonesia, wherein you can get more country level data. But if you're just like looking specifically at macroeconomic or economic data, that can be quickly accessed on the economic data section here on the left links. Okay, it's just loading on my end. Okay, and then let's click on economic and demographic data. Okay, so once that is loaded, as you can see here, you have the option again to expand it or change the timeline or the time frame that you would want to see the data for. So as you can see, like 2004 data up to, what do I have selected? Up to 2031. So of course, like for the historical data, it is also available here. And then we also have the projected or estimated macroeconomic data here on the farthest right side. So yes, as you can see, like from this page alone, you can see the GDP, CPI, also have the population and the population growth available on this page as well. And then again, similar to what I've showed earlier, a lot of very like very niche, very specific data metrics here. If you're not familiar, just click on the definitions here in the top right. Okay, so maybe we can take a look now at definitely one of the most interesting and exciting enhancements that we've added in Capital IQ Pro, which is the generative AI functionalities. Okay, so there's two ways in order to access those functionalities. So first is the documents. So if you have the documents tab here at the top, you can quickly click on that. If you don't have it available, you will be needing to click on the edit button here. And then feel free to change your current menu items just so that documents would be easily accessible. But it's also available under the Apps tab just by accessing Document Viewer right here. Okay, so once you have Document Intelligence open, you have the ability here of specifying a company. So if you have a specific company in mind, you can select that here. But if you don't really have any specific companies, feel free to just use the keywords, the industries, the geographies filter here. So as you can see, it's automatically opening up my recent search. But maybe we can change my search here. So maybe we can leave it to acquisitions. One thing to highlight here is that it's also searching for similar words or synonyms. As you can see, like aside from acquisitions, the document intelligence with the use of AI is also searching for takeovers, mergers, purchases, buyouts, and procurements. So this basically expands your search, making your search more expanded, more basically allows you to capture more data. Then you also have here the ability to change or select a specific industry. So maybe instead of energy, you'd want to see those that are specific in the information technology space. And then maybe we can specify Indonesia for this one. So let's say Indonesia. And then for date range, we can just leave that to 1 year. But basically, this is how it works. Okay, see that we didn't capture any transcripts. Maybe we can expand it to. Sorry, I'm just going to expand our search just because it didn't capture any transcripts, which is something I did want to highlight. Maybe let's select all industries instead. Okay, perfect. So yes, as you can see, like really depending on the filters that you've selected, it will definitely change the documents that will be pulled. But as you can see, like I specifically did want to highlight the transcript. Especially like let's click on that one. Okay, so as you can see here, I just clicked on a sample transcript wherein I just wanted to show you how the search functionality did work. So as you can see, we just search for acquisitions, but it's also like pulling for those that have merger mentioned. And then you can also like just click on any of the points here, and it will directly lead you to that section in the transcript wherein that keyword was mentioned. And then moving on to the right side here, um, for example, if you're tasked to look through or read through the transcript, it's quite long, right? So it definitely would take you a long time to reading it. But if you just want to see like the summary or an overview of what the transcript was all about for this specific earnings call, we do have the summary available here. So through AI, we are listing down the buy sentiments, which are the positives and the negatives discussed in the call. We also have the buy topics. So as you can see here, which we have the topics listed down by financial results, outlook, company strategy, external factors, products and services. And you can also like just click on any of the points here. Like for example, let's click on this one for net profit. It will automatically highlight. So for as you can see, it's might not be showing because it's quite small. But as you can see, it is highlighting that particular section in the transcript where that data point was taken from. Okay, then we also have here the chat IQ. Okay, so to introduce what chat IQ is, you can definitely think of it as Capital IQ Pro's own chat GPT, wherein you can ask it questions regarding the Capital IQ Pro database. But for this one, since we do have a document open, it will only answer questions that are specific to that document itself. So if you want to ask Chat IQ any questions regarding any other Capital IQ Pro data, I'll be showing later on the separate Chat IQ application that we have. But yes, as mentioned, for this one, it will only answer those that are related to the document itself. So as you can see, we have here like some three questions that we can click on. So this is just some suggested questions that you can ask it. So as you can see, let's click on this one, which asks the strategies that the company is implementing to optimize EBITDA margin. And as you can see, once that has fully answered and loaded, it has listed down the strategies that were mentioned within the call to optimize the EBITDA margins of the company. And then you might be wondering, like, what do these numbers mean? Basically, if you click on it, so for this one, it's for the focus on operational efficiency. You can just click on it, and it will directly jump through and highlight that section wherein this particular point was sourced from. And then again, it's just the same thing for right here. This one, it says one because it was just sourced from one section. Two, meaning it's sourced from two sections. And then you can use the navigational arrows to jump through those sections. Okay, so aside, of course, from the suggested searches or the suggested questions, we can also ask it any questions that you have in mind. So, for example, maybe you're interested in the R&D of the company. Were there any mentions of research and development? Let's ask it that. Okay, so as you can see, like instead of having to read through all of this to pinpoint the R&D, just through ChatIQ, we can quickly see that there were no mentions of R&D and that the focus of the discussion was more on financial performance and etc. Okay, so basically that's it for ChatIQ within the document itself. And then to access ChatIQ itself, it is available. Let me just zoom out. Okay, it's available under apps here, and then click on ChatIQ. Okay. So as you can see here, this is what Chat IQ looks like. Again, you can think of this as Capital IQ Pro's Chat GPT, where you can ask it questions for the Capital IQ Pro database. So as you can see here, again, we have some suggested searches. So something, let's say, maybe we can click on, just going to randomly click on one, maybe like this one, who's on the board of OpenAI. And then it's just analyzing question and then pulling the data for us. Oops, okay, I did experience an error right now. Might just be my internet, but let me do that again. Okay, so as you can see, it's just listing down the board members of OpenAI for us. And then we also have here a table of more data such as their biography, their tenure and such. You can also export this to Excel by clicking on the buttons right here. And then of course, feel free to ask it any questions. So let's say, what is the fiscal year 2024 total revenue of, let's say, Apple? Okay, so as you can see, like just by asking it that, instead of having to navigate through all of the steps that I showed earlier, you can just ask ChatIQ the question, and it will give you the total revenue, as long along with the other relevant financial data as well, which again you can quickly export to Excel, and you can also use the buttons right here. So if you are satisfied with the answer, feel free to thumbs up. If you're not satisfied, thumbs down. And then again, just click on this copy response to quickly copy and then paste it to the document that you're working on. You can also ask it like any industry specific questions. Like for example, what trends are currently happening in the IT sector, let's see. Maybe information. Or maybe I'm just going to word it out better. What are the trends? Okay, that's definitely better. What are the trends in the information technology sector? Okay, let's ask it that. Okay, so as you can see, like just by asking that question, it's already listing down the trends in the IT sector for us, such as cloud adaptation, AI integration, quantum computing, etc. And then we also have here the source documents wherein those points were taken from. Okay, so basically that's it for the generative AI functionalities that we've incorporated in Capital IQ Pro. Definitely like an exciting and interesting tools that will hopefully like um, make your workflow or your research a lot more efficient as well. Okay, so we're now actually to moving on to the last section of today's training, which is the Capital IQ Pro plugin. Okay, so to access that or to install it, if you're interested in installing it in your personal computers, you can go to the links here and then going to S&P Capital IQ Pro Office download. So basically, the Capital IQ Pro Office download, it allows you to automatically or pull in data directly from from the Capital IQ database into your Excel. So just go to, again, more and then links, the download link right here. Just click on this one and then just go to the installation process. And then once you have that installed, feel free to also like take a look at our template library. So again, that's under links as well, Excel template library here, wherein you can access and download all of the available templates that we have here. So basically, like Excel templates are pre-built Excel models that can mass pull data for you. And then you also have here the description for that particular template as well, making it a lot easier for you to understand what that template is pulling. Then feel free to, of course, use the filters here to narrow down your template search. But if you're not interested in creating a template, I also have here like a sample of how we can best use the Capital AQ Pro Office plugin. So once you have that downloaded, it will show us this one, so S&P Capital AQ Pro. I know that you guys both have access for Capital AQ and Capital AQ Pro. You don't need to actually install both as long as you have Capital IQ Pro installed here, because you can also access the Capital IQ or the classic Capital IQ formula builder by clicking on this button right here that is tagged as classic. And the one that isn't tagged is the formula builder for CIQ Pro. Okay, so one thing to definitely take note of when you're pulling data in Excel is that you do have to get your list of tickers or identifiers, because that will be used in order to pull the data. So this will be, the tickers will be your company reference or your formula reference in order to pull in data to Excel. So to get your tickers, just right click on a cell and then click on Insert CAQ Pro Identifiers. Okay, so once that is loaded, okay, perfect. You can use the search bar here. So for example, let's add in, just going to type in Apple. And then let's click on add identifiers. Maybe let's add in like maybe Microsoft. Let's see. Oops, I did typed it incorrectly. Okay, so just tick the box for Microsoft here. Add it. Click on add identifiers to add it to your selection. And then you also have the layout here. So make sure to click on down a column if you would like them to be down a column, or you can also select across a row, depending of course on the format you'd like. Once you're done, just click on apply. And as you can see here, we have the list of tickers that we have selected along with the ones that I've pre-selected earlier as well. Okay, so just to show you how the company or the formula builder works, let's start pulling for the company name and the total revenue. So I'm just going to click on formula builder right now. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Might be intimidating at first, but really it's quite simple and quite easy to learn. So here at the top, you either have the option to type in your identifier, or you can also reference a cell, which is best with what we have since we already have the list of tickers pulled for us here. So make sure to just reference the cell wherein the first ticker is located. So for this one, it is cell B4. So I'm just typing down B4 here. And then to get the company name, I'm just going to expand company details and then company name here. Just select it, and then you can see the preview of your formula right here. Once you're done, just click on Add Formula. And then make sure to check the output location just so that you won't overwrite or replace any data that is already on a specific cell. So this is correct cell C4, and then just click on Apply. And as you can see, it automatically pulled in the company name for us. And what's good about having that list of tickers is that you can just drag it down to the rest of the tickers here, and it will pull the same. If you see hashtag pen, that's quite a normal occurrence. Just make sure to have those cells selected and then click on refresh data. As you can see, it's now pulling for the rest of the company names. And just to show you how you can pull for the total revenue, again, if you're not quite sure on how to find it, you can just type it down right here. Just select which one is showing. And as you can see, it's total revenue. Yes, as you can see, like if you're not similar to what they've shown in the platform, if you're not familiar with the data metric, just hover over any of the data items here. and a box will show containing the description or the definition for that data metric. It says total revenue right here. Then you can also, of course, change the period type to fiscal year, quarters, whichever data you need. So let's just leave it to fiscal year 2024. You have advanced options here, which is quite intimidating, really. But what really is the most used or most changed would be currency, because you have the ability to change the currency right here. So for example, if you just want to pull it for, let's say, for your currency right here, just select that and then click on Add Formula. Again, make sure that the output location is correct. So what I usually do is just select the cell wherein I want to pull it and then click on this one just so that it will refresh. So now it's showing cell E4, which is the correct cell, and then click on Apply. As you can see, it's now pulling the total revenue. Again, let's just drag it down to the rest of the cells. Okay, hashtag pen, as mentioned, is quite a normal occurrence. Just refresh the data to pull it. As you can see, we have now the total revenue for the rest of the data here. Okay, and then maybe we can also build a quick SPG table formula. So SPG table basically is um, a way for you to pull in data metrics just by using one singular formula here. So the first step, of course, would be to have your list of identifiers. And then, of course, the next step is to get your data metrics that you would want to pull. So that is available under more data here, and then go to field selector. I actually have it open since it does take like a couple of minutes to load. But to show you how it works, I'm just going to the key financials here, just so that we can pull financial data. Okay, it's just loading a little slow. But yes, let me just check if we have like some more questions that haven't been answered.
Hi, Patricia. So there are
Yep.
two questions coming from Rinda.
Mm-hmm.
One of it being how to find futures contracts for the energy markets. So the likes of crude oil in NYMEX and GME Oman crude oil
Mm-hmm.
per 30 minutes from 2010 up until 2025. So that's the first question.
Mm-hmm.
And the second question is, how to find the index value of some of the conventional and Sharia indices
Mm-hmm.
in the region, so likes of Middle East and North Africa countries.
Index value, I see. Okay, maybe you can quickly jump through the. I know that we are like close on the time, but maybe we can. Would it be okay if we did extend a little bit? Okay. For the commodities or the crude oil, that's available under Markets tab here, and then just go to Commodities and Future Summary. She did mention crude oil right here. Just close this out. I am seeing this one, but yep, it is this one. So as you can see, the exchange is listed here. You can click on it to learn more about or to see more details about the crude oil data. Not quite sure if we have like the one for the 30 minutes. I'm also not sure if how often or the frequency for the updates for the data. So maybe that's something I can look into offline and then get back to Rinda via email as well. And then for the indices, I'm not familiar with this one, the ones that she've listed down. But I'll definitely like include that with the follow-up email I'll send with Rinda as well. Okay, so let me just go back to the Excel that we're working on. So just to quickly show how the SPG table works, I'm just going to maybe use EBITDA as a sample right here. So once you click on EBITDA, and I'm just waiting for this parameter to load. Okay. You can select the periods. So similar to what I've shown earlier in Excel, you are able to quickly select the data or the periods that you would want to pull data for. Then again, just click on select fields here, and it will be added to your selected fields. Once you're done with your selection, just click on export fields. Okay, and as you can see here, it's now pulled the fields for us. And then using SPG table, just type down the formula here. So SPG table, and then I do have a reference here just so that it's a lot more easier to understand how it works. First, just reference your identifiers, add a comma. Next is to identify or reference the formula metrics. And then lastly is to reference the periods or the dates. Then just close that out with another parenthesis, click on enter, and it won't automatically pull in, but you can just select the SPG table formula that you've typed in, and then click on refresh data. And then just by using that data or that formula alone, it will automatically pull in the rest of the EBITDA data for us. So yes, definitely like a quick and easier way for mass pulling data in Excel instead of pulling them one by one using the formula or the formula builder that I just showed. Okay, so basically that's it for our run through of CompuStat's financials in Classic Capital IQ, as well as the basic run through of Capital IQ Pro, along with the features and the generative AI enhancements in Excel. So I see that we do have one more question.
Yep. So Patricia, that's a follow-up
Okay.
from the previous
Mm-hmm.
question. So she's asking if there is any high frequency data for the futures contracts for crude oil,
I
crude
see,
oil
I see.
dynamics. Yeah.
Yep, I'll just add that as well to my follow-up email. Okay, but yes, basically that is it for today's training. Feel free to type in like if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them now. But yeah, feel free to also like reach out to our support line. So to reach out to our support line, you can just quickly click on the question mark button here at the top right. So from this question mark button, you can easily access our help center, which contains like navigation, articles, definition, articles, etc. Just so that if you have like any navigational concerns, you can easily access articles regarding that. We also have platform training webinars that are scheduled. Feel free to look at this link right here. And then for the support lines, we have this new one here that is basically an AI help that you can ask questions to as well. And then we have here the support line, the phone and chat button that you can click on. And basically, our support line is available 24/7. So if you do have to quickly do some research over the weekend, feel free to also um, reach out to us. As mentioned, it is 24/7. And yeah, basically that is it for today. I know that we did cover a lot, so feel free to let us know if you have any questions. And yeah, that's basically it. Um, yeah, feel free to add in any more details, Leo or Rafi.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Patricia. Very, very helpful. So I guess
Awesome. Yeah.
I'll hand the stage over to Pak Rafi to provide some closing remarks.
Oke, terima kasih. Thank you, Patricia dan juga
Yes.
Mas Leo mungkin saya manggilnya eh, atas bantuannya dan Patricia untuk mengisi pelatihannya hari ini. Eh, Nanti bisa jika ada kendala di akun untuk loginnya bisa ke PSB. Kemudian kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan untuk seputar Capital EQ bisa bertanya tadi ke eh kontak personnya dari SNP ya, Mas ya, Leo. Oke. Kemudian sebelum saya akhiri, untuk peserta jangan lupa mengisi absen pelatihan. Sudah saya kirimkan melalui chat. Eh, Oke. Jadi semoga pelatihan hari ini membawa pengetahuan baru untuk teman-teman semua. Terima kasih sekali lagi untuk speaker dan Pak Leo membantu sebagai translator juga, dan teman-teman atas kehadirannya, mahasiswa dan dosen. Dan saya ingatkan kembali untuk nanti tadi yang peserta yang ketinggalan, untuk pelatihan ini akan diupload kembali ke YouTube-nya PSB dan juga ada di nanti di websitenya PSB. Jadi kalau misalnya ketinggalan bisa di rewind, bisa ditonton ulang di platformnya PSB seperti itu. Oke, Eh, oke, saya akhiri. Terima kasih lagi untuk semuanya. Akhirul kalam, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk semua.
Terima kasih semuanya.
Oke,
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Terima kasih.
sama-sama. Terima kasih kembali.